Hello, guys, and welcome to today's discussion on the topic of ethnocentrism in international marketing. Ethnocentrism is a widely debated topic in the field of international business, and today we will be diving deep into exactly what it is, how it applies to international marketing. We'll be giving some examples about success and failures of international companies, and finally, we'll try to apply the STP concept to this topic. So, let's dive in. So, first thing first, we'll have to start with the definition of the concept. So, what is ethnocentrism? Ethnocentrism is basically the belief that one's own culture or ethnic group is superior to others. It refers to the tendency for people to judge others' cultures or group based on their own cultural norms and values. This often results in biases, prejudices, which can negatively impact one's ability to understand, appreciate the perspective of others. Also, can make communication very hard and can be sometimes insulting to others' traditions or cultures. So, how can we define this concept in an international marketing perspective? Well, in this context, ethnocentrism can cause companies to make assumptions that about other preferences and behavior of other consumers in foreign countries based on their own norms and experiences. For example, a company based in United States might assume that all consumers in other countries would want the same type of products, services, and sometimes even packaging as those sold outside the United States. This can lead to a failing or achieving very small success with the product launch in foreign markets, which is something that we've seen in our last video when we talked about Euro Disney and the huge failure that it's faced during to this problem of ethnocentrism. Okay, so now that we have defined the principle or the concept of ethnocentrism in the general context and the international marketing concept, we'll try to move on and provide some examples where we can see how this concept or how did the companies who understand this topic succeed in international markets, while others who fail to succeed or fail to understand this concept have failed terribly. Okay, let's start with the good things. Start with the good things first. We're gonna start by examples of success. Uh, Many examples of companies that have successfully navigated the challenge of ethnocentrism in international marketing can be found all over the world. Starting with Coca-Cola, it has been successful in expanding into foreign markets by understanding the cultural differences and tailoring its marketing efforts accordingly. For example, in the Middle Eastern market, Coca-Cola has created a brand image that appeal to the local culture by using local celebrities and creating packaging that is appropriate for the local market. Yes, so as we know, the Gulf countries and the North African countries are conservative countries, so they would not have advertising companies or packaging displaying, for example, people with very little clothes or something like that. Also, the point mentioned about the influencers. So Coca-Cola has, whenever Coca-Cola enters a certain country, it assemble or targets a number of influencers that can represent the brand, attend event, and that also allows to produce content for the marketing and spread the word respecting the culture of the country they're operating. Another example, a famous company which is P&G, Procter and Gamble, which has been successful in expanding to foreign markets by using the STP concept that we'll be talking about in a few minutes. The company has successfully segmented the market into different cultural groups and targeted its marketing efforts accordingly. For example, in the Asian market, Procter& Gamble has created a brand image that appeals to the local culture by using local celebrities and creating packaging that is appropriate to local market. As we can see here from the stories of success, the importance of understanding the concept of ethnocentrism is very crucial and very important, and will guarantee the companies that want to go international, want to go foreign uh, countries, which is extremely important for the development and their success in these countries. Okay, now that we've seen a great example of success and the importance of understanding the ethnocentrism concept, we'll move to see some examples where the companies have actually failed to understand the concept and consequently have failed to penetrate international markets. The famous, well, there are actually multiple famous companies that fall into this trap. But the one that if you still remember from our last video, we talked about Euro Disney. Euro Disney, it's a successful entertainment company that had huge success in the US. So again, every company reaches a level in its cycle where it has to expand or to scale up to penetrate international markets. So Euro Disney decided to go and expand in Europe. Okay, and the mistake it's made here, it did not change anything. It kept the same offering, same pricing, and also miscalculated the economic factor and cultural factors, which are another topic. But again, ethnocentrism was a key element that contributed to the failure of Euro Disney. Another example can be Pepsi. Pepsi, when it tried to launch its snack brand in India, in the Indian market, the company made the mistake of assuming the Indian market would be just their home market and failed to make or to take into account the cultural differences. As a result, the product taste and packaging were not received by the local market, and the brand failed to gain an international market or international boundary. Okay, one last example before we moving on to the STP concept is the McDonald's. Again, decided the same segment, which is the Indian market, but the company had made the mistake of assuming that the Indian market would embrace its menu offering directly, but on the opposite, it failed to take into account the cultural differences and dietary restrictions. As a result, McDonald's struggled to gain traction in the Indian market and had to make significant changes in its menu offering to appeal to the local market, which led eventually to their success. Okay, so now that we discussed all of the example, the definition of the concept, or everything related to the ethnocentrism concept, we'll try to move on and see how the STP strategy can apply to solve this problem for international companies or for companies that want to go international. So the STP concept, which stands for segmentation, targeting, and positioning, is a marketing strategy that can help companies overcome ethnocentrism bias. By using segmentation, companies can identify the specific needs and preferences of the cultural group they are targeting in the market. By using targeting, companies can tailor their message or their offer to appeal to these cultural groups. And finally, by using positioning, companies can create a unique brand image that resonates with these groups. In most cases, we can see that companies are already familiar with the segmentation and targeting, but they fail to deliver or to understand the positioning part. That's why it's worth mentioning that this concept or this last step of the STP concept should have more attention from companies in order for them to deliver and have a comprehensive image of their brand when trying to go international. So, in conclusion, ethnocentrism is a significant challenge in the international marketing, but it can be overcome using the STP component, as we've seen. By understanding the unique needs and preferences of different cultural groups, companies can create more effective marketing strategies and build strong relationships with international partners. So that's it for today's discussion on ethnocentrism in international marketing. Thank you for watching and have a great day. Bye bye.